Hey everybody, big game tonight. Thanks for clicking that thumbnail and welcome to Talking Habs. So this is going to be my preview for tonight's game between Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The first place Toronto Maple Leafs and the fourth place Montreal Canadiens. So I'm going to give you stats, my thoughts on how this game, what it takes for Montreal to win this game. That's find the words, Rick. And so I'll give you all that. Right behind me there, plus there's the Guess the Score contest. If you guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game, doesn't matter what team that comes from, you could win a prize. $5 directly deposited into your bank account. So you can give the guess in the comment section, and I will give you mine right over there after the end of the video. So before we get into that, also, if you are a Habs fan like I am and you want to see more videos like this, I do previews, reviews, live casts, and all different kinds of videos about the Habs, always based on the Habs. Subscribe, ring the notifications bell. That'll get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge. Right here at Talking Habs. Let's get right into this video. All right, so it's Montreal-Toronto. Always a big game. Always a big game. Listen, for me, I grew up in the 70s, and there was always a rivalry between Montreal and Toronto. And I don't just mean the hockey teams, I mean the cities and everything. So I grew up with this, now I call it hatred for Toronto, but it's just this high competition for Toronto that, blows up into, a sort of hatred. So this is my biggest rivalry, Montreal-Toronto. I always look forward to these games, especially when the two teams are good and the competition for the games are better. It always makes it more satisfying, and I'm sure the Leafs fans would agree that when my team beats that other one, it's so much more satisfying than any other win, any other game, and any other team in the NHL. So that's, for me, that's how I look at it. Now, a lot of people have it for Boston, and for me, Boston's number 2, but Toronto, always the number 1 rival for Montreal, for me. Now, before we do get into this, I do want to say, speedy recovery to Alex Emelin. I believe he's on the mend. I'm not sure. He has a liver problem, very rare disease apparently, and he's having a liver transplant in Russia. And apparently he's stabilized, but it's a very, very serious, life-threatening thing. So my thoughts go out to Alex Emelin, and speedy recovery. That's, so hopefully everybody will be thinking about Alex over the next, I don't know exactly when he's having this operation, but I was reading about it today, and okay, hard to transition from that, or segue. We're going to go into the stats for the game. Montreal is 17-9-9, and they have 43 points. They are 4th in the division. If they play 500 hockey or better, as a minimum, they shouldn't be worse than 4th. So they should make the playoffs, unless impending doom. And I know we had the 2 injuries, so you can see how things could happen, but as long as things kind of stay okay, they'll make the playoffs. Toronto is 26-10-3 with 55 points. They are in first place. And listen, they're looking great. I want to say bad things about Toronto. I really do. But right now, you can't really. Goals for Montreal, 114, and I forgot to circle a few things. 114 for 13th. Goals for Toronto is 130, and that's for 5th. Now, you got to remember, Montreal holds 4 games in hand on Toronto, right? So take a look at the numbers for goals for. There's 16 more, but if you take those 4 games, that's 4 goals a game, which Montreal is coming close to. I mean, so maybe it's not, they're going to be exact, but you could say their goals for are roughly the same, right? Or very close to it. Goals against, 96 for Montreal for 5th, 98 for Toronto for 10th. Now, use that 4 games in hand. Again, Montreal, with the 4 games in hand, has 2 goals less given up. And that could be something that, that's an advantage for Montreal. So why don't we just, I'll do that. So I think Montreal has an advantage in the goals against department. So the defense is giving up less goals than Toronto. Last 10, Montreal's 5-3-2. So that's basically 500. It's a little higher if you go by the points for NHL, but it's 500. It's 5-5. 7-2-1 for Toronto, so they're doing quite well. And head-to-head, Montreal 1-2-1, and for Toronto it's 3-1-0. Corsi 4, that's puck possession, that's advanced stats. And Montreal still second in the league with 56.1%, and Toronto 13th with 50.4%. So this is something I would have to say that this is an advantage. They hold on to the puck, more likely that they can make the plays and get the goals. Goals per game, 3.23 for Montreal, 9th. 3.31 for Toronto, 4th. Now, it's 5 places different, but I mean, that's virtually the same. No advantage, I don't think, in scoring. I really don't think there's an advantage for Toronto in the scoring department. Even though they've got Matthews, I know they got the big three there. I hate to say the big three because that's Montreal defense back in the 70s. But they've got their 3 guys that are producing. After that, it does fall off. They've got guys that are producing, but there's not much difference. Montreal's lineup, through the whole lineup, is still producing the same amount of points, basically. Goals against, 266 for Montreal, 11th, and 251 for Toronto, that's 7th. Now, that's goals against per game, so still virtually the same, hardly a difference. Nobody has an advantage. Power play percentage, 21.4% for Montreal, 14th. The good thing here is don't have to really qualify and say they're better on the road. And if that's the case, they are on the road. So this could be, but their power play's been good home and on the road now. 23.9% for Toronto, 9th in the league. And I was a little surprised. I thought they had a bit better power play. It's a bit of an advantage. I'll give them an advantage, but it's not huge. Not as huge as I thought going into making this preview. PK, 76.1% for Montreal, that's 25th, and 78.1% for Toronto, that's 20th. Now, it's 2%, not huge. A slight advantage to Toronto there. I'll give them a slight advantage. You can almost say between the two on the special teams, they have like one advantage, not one on each. It's like a half and a half. Face-off percentage, 48.8% for Montreal, 23rd. That's coming up slowly. Said it in a video yesterday. They've been actually a lot better in the last 5-6 games, but they were so bad early on. That's going to take a while for that percentage to get up to 50 or over. And but it is creeping up. They're at 23rd. They started out, I think they were 30th at the beginning of the season. So, I mean, it's getting better. 51.6% for Toronto, 7th. Now, you could look at that and say that there is an advantage for Toronto, and it is. But you could also look at it and say, in the last 5-6 games where Montreal has been killing it in the face-off circle, if they've turned that corner, then currently they're about even there. I will give it an advantage because of the overall stat. I will. But keep it in mind, Montreal has been way better in the face-off circle, and that could mean that that's not such a big advantage in this game tonight. Top scorers for each team. Montreal, Toffoli, 19 goals, 10 assists, 29 points, plus 9. Petrie, 11 goals, 17 assists, 28 points, plus 11. You see Petrie's numbers slowed down, and his plus-minus dropped down a bit. So Petrie in a bit of a slump. He's got to start getting back to what he was doing in the beginning of the season. And the opposite of that, Thomas Tatar. 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points, plus 10. Tatar, who was really slumping at the beginning of the years, got his act together scoring-wise and has brought himself from the bottom of the pack on the team up to 3rd on the team. So I think that's pretty good. We got to remember, Thomas Tatar has been good lately, and he's back to being that point producer that has led the team in the last couple of years. On the other side, their top 3, their highest 3 paid players. Mitch Marner, 13 goals, 34 assists, 47 points and a plus 19. Austin Matthews, 27 goals, 19 assists, 46 points, plus 16. He's got the 27 goals in 36 games. It's pretty good. So can't take that away from somebody. I don't really like him. I'm allowed, but can't take away what he's doing, and that's fair enough, right? John Tavares, 12 goals, 20 assists, 32 points, plus 13. In nets, it'll definitely be Jake Allen, as Carey Price has an injury. He's day-to-day with a lower body injury, did not make the trip, so he cannot be in nets. Jake Allen, by the way, Lindgren will be the backup. Primo is on the taxi squad. Jake Allen, 5-3-4. No shutouts, a 2.23 goals against, and a 9.22 save percentage. I think that's great numbers for backup goalie. And, okay, could have maybe a shutout, but, I mean, that's good numbers. I mean, Did any of our backups give us anything like that? I don't think so. For a game, first game they played, they might have had good numbers, and then it went downhill quickly with the backups. On the other side is Jack Campbell. I don't know if it's going to be Campbell. It could be Anderson, but I think considering the matchup, we're getting close to the end. These points are important, even to Toronto, even though they're ahead of us by a good bit. Anderson, there's games where Anderson just can't stop anything from Montreal. So I have a feeling Campbell will be in nets, considering he's 9-0-0. I think that's a record, or he's about to set a record for goalies in their first 10 starts of the season without a loss, and he has none. So yeah, that's pretty incredible. Plus, if I'm correct, Jack Campbell plays goddamn well against Montreal, so this is a problem and this is a worry. He's got 2 shutouts to go with that, 1.53 goals against and a 9.44 save percentage. So just, he's got really great numbers. And yeah, Jack Campbell, a good goalie, and he's their number 1 right now. And I think he'll be in net, so it's going to be a problem. Montreal has to play a full 60 minutes, and I mean 60 minutes, and not a second less than 60 minutes against Toronto. If they do that, they have a good shot to win here. And if they don't, they've got a good chance to lose here against Toronto, who will capitalize on, a last-minute mistake, any kind of mistake. So Montreal has to play at their best all through this game. Defense has to be tight and mobile. Now, is that good for, like, your boyfriend or girlfriend? I don't know. Defense, really, they got to tighten up. They have been better. And mobility, Victor Mete is in there. That helps the mobility. He's been playing well. And look to him to have another good game and keep that defense mobile. So this is going to be very important against this Toronto team. I think defense is going to be very important. Shut down their 3 big guys. If you shut down that trio, and no, it's not a line. I think Tavares plays on the second line because Matthews, Tavares are centers. But if you shut down Matthews and Marner, you go a long way to keeping the score down and winning against Toronto. If they are prolific tonight, it's going to be tough to win. That's just the truth. That's just the way it is. Solve Jack Campbell. They've had trouble scoring against Campbell. Campbell's, like I said, played really well against Montreal. It's like one of those, that's the team that, or that's a goalie Montreal has trouble with. So they want to win, and they need to win. They need these 2 points more than Toronto does, and this is a 4-point night, right? Because if they win, they catch up a little bit on Toronto. If they lose, that's another 2 away, and it just can't happen. So they have to win tonight. It's almost a must-win. It's not, but it's almost a must-win, and they need to solve Jack Campbell. On the flip side, Jake Allen will have to play the way he has been playing. I don't expect there to be any difference. He's been pretty steady. I know his attitude is none of anything makes difference to him. He goes out and he does everything he normally does, and nothing changes. Whether I play once a week, whether I play twice a week, whether I play every game, nothing changes for me. I still approach the game the same way. Great attitude for a backup goalie, and I think he'll remain sharp and we'll be okay. It's not like imagine if it was last year, Charlie Lindgren would be making the start. I don't feel comfortable on that. I would have a different look at the game, right? Outlook of the game. So this makes a big difference, and he's going to be hugely important. Special teams could be key. When I mean could be key to winning this game, because power plays are both good. PKs are, they're not great ones, but they're roughly the same. So one team or the other has a great night on special teams, and that could be the difference in the game here. Be physical and mean. Be physical and mean. This is a Toronto team that, personally, I don't see them being a team that handles physicality and meanness very well. They have a couple players that, can dish it back out. I get it, but they don't handle it well. Their big stars don't, and I think if you play that physical, mean game, and I'm talking about Kotkaniemi, who has, not every game, but he can be physical, definitely. And he's shown some meanness, so let's see that. Corey Perry, who we all know, because for guys like me who hated him coming in, it was for those kind of things. And it's great to see him doing that here. And yeah, so Corey Perry, Josh Anderson, physical guy. We've seen him fight. We know that he's a physical guy. We got to have that physicality, and they got to have a little meanness to it. And on the back end, Edmondson, big guy, great defender, and yeah, he needs to get in there and bang some bodies around and show them you're there. Let them know you're there. That's it, from Slapshot. Weber, we all know Weber can play the physical game. Maybe he doesn't have to fight, but he needs to be physical. And Romanov needs to show us those hits. He's leading the team in hits, and let's see some big ones tonight. All clean, but some big hits and some mean... He's got that in him, and he's going to show it. And yeah, he's young in his first year, but it's starting to come out. I mean, he's leading the team, I believe, in hits. So, you know, you're getting a good physical game from Romanov. So if these guys can really like drive that physicality on the team, and you know we've got the skill, we have the point production. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Montreal could win this game. I don't see why not, right? So let's go to that part. Guess the score contest. So if you want to guess the score in the comment section, score of the game, first goal scorer of the game, and I'm going to give you mine right now. So considering everything I've said, considering it's the rival that I absolutely hate the most. Now, Leafs fans, if you're watching this, I don't hate you as a Leafs fan. I don't like your team. I'm allowed. We can talk about it. We can debate. We don't have to hate on each other. And I understand that you don't like my team. That's what's the beauty of it, isn't it? That we can do all that and still not want to kill each other and can enjoy the game and the excitedness and edge of your seatness of this game. That's probably going to happen unless it's a one-sided victory for either team. So I hate this team. I don't hate Leafs fans. So I want to state that because I get some comments sometimes, and what's the use? Anyway, I'm babbling on that, but so please keep it clean. Please keep it civil. There's no need to be. I haven't been mean or nasty to anybody here. Awesome. Let's get this on the road now. What do I think the score is going to be? Okay, I'll give you the Leafs score. I think it's going to, first of all, I think it's going to be a really close game, okay? Really close. Stats kind of show it should be. The rivalry is heated. They don't really like each other. And yeah, it's going to be a close game. Well fought and everything. No matter that Gallagher's not there, it's going to be fine. I'm giving 4 to the Leafs. I'm also going to say, I think it goes to overtime. Who wins this game? Montreal's now won their first game in 6 tries in overtime. They had a shootout win, so we know they can do it. Sometimes when a team struggles like that, when they finally get started, they can go on a roll, and I think it continues here if it goes to overtime, and I'm calling for a 5-4 Habs victory. Now, I'm going to want to wash my hands after I give the goal scorer, but considering everything and everything he's done this year and everything, I think, honestly, it's what's in my head. I think Matthews gets the first one. I don't like saying it. I feel dirty now that I've said it. But I think it's Matthews with the first goal. 5-4 Montreal in overtime. The overtime doesn't matter in your guess. If it goes to overtime, doesn't matter if you didn't call for that. Scores what matters. So 5-4 Montreal. Matthews with the first goal. Let me know in the comment section what your guess would be for this. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe and ring that notifications bell. That'll get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge. Right here, Talking Habs. I'm doing a live cast, as always, 7:05, because this is a 7:30 start, not the usual 7 o'clock. So hopefully I'll see you there. And yeah, you can maybe make an appearance. Everything is explained in the live cast. Have a great one, everybody. Enjoy this game. It should be a great game. No matter who wins, as long as the game is great, how can you argue, right? So there you go. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. And I may be getting my vaccine soon. So it's a happy day. Stay safe out there, and peace out, y'all. See you next video. Bye, everybody.